Hello everybody, it's me Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Blastful. It was developed by Playstige Interactive, and I want to give a huge shout out to them for them providing me with a copy of the game so I was able to do my review. And it will be released on February 25th of 2021 on the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch as a digital download game only. Fortunately, it is considered a budget title, a budget shooter, so it is a really cheap game. It's not going to set you back that much in terms of money, and it basically consists of you going through procedurally generated levels that are set in the style of a retro arcade shooter that while it has techno music beats playing in the background. It kind of reminds me sort of like Asteroids in the way that it plays, but it never really feels like your ship is actually moving through the space. It feels like everything else is moving around your ship. So that takes a little bit getting used to, but it's not anything that's going to destroy your experience with this game. And now as you go through these 20 different levels fighting 10 different types of enemies, you'll pick up icons, upgrades along the way to be able to use 5 different weapons in your adventure. And it consists of you going through a level, shooting all the enemies that come after you, collecting your power-ups and everything until at the end of the level a big ship will show up and you will fight this ship, which is a boss, defeat it, and go on to the next level. It's a very simplistic classic style arcade shooter, and the main thing is there's not really too many options in terms of how the game is. Visually, some of the levels are very bright and vibrant and beautiful, while others can be kind of like oversaturated with color, and I get why they were doing that. It was supposed to represent, like, say, if you're near another planet or something, but I will have to say most of the levels are quite nice looking. It's always going to consist of you near some big planet in space as you have these enemies come down or shooting at you from all angles. And they have a map in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and honestly it makes it out as if you're actually moving in space on this area if you actually can go and move around on that map, but it doesn't really seem to do much for me. I mean, I have found the best trick is just to kind of stay where you're at and just shoot. And your right analog stick is used to actually turn the location of your ship to whatever direction you're pressing in, up, down, right, left, almost kind of like a game like Smash TV or something. It's not a dual stick sort of game. In fact, it kind of sort of is, but it isn't. It's kind of hard to explain. The left analog stick is what moves your ship around in the area, while your right analog stick, if you press in a direction, is the direction your ship will move into, what direction you're pressing. And other than that, that's really all you do. You just go around shooting these enemies as they show up, collecting power-ups, changing your weapon with the L1 button will change your weapon, while the R2 button is what you use to shoot. Now, your normal weapon, this little puny gun that you see, it is unlimited. You never run out of bullets for it, so you can just mash your button down and keep firing that. But I have noticed the other weapons, the upgrades you get, are limited. So when you switch to them, they might be like a auto fire or missiles and stuff like that. But you have a limited amount of ammunition before you run out of that and you revert back to your normal attack. Honestly, it's not until the later levels where it actually was even a slight challenge for me. I kind of thought that the game was a little too easy, even on its hardest difficulty setting. I think there's like 3 difficulty settings in the game. But honestly, you can adjust these sound effects, the music volume, brightness, and turn snap aiming on and off, but it doesn't really seem to make too much of a difference with the way your ship aims. As long as you press in a direction that you want, your ship will face that direction and you shoot in that direction. And that's really about it. And you go through these 20 levels, getting power-ups, shooting enemies until you fight a big boss and kill them. And that's really the whole game. One thing I have to point out I'm kind of disappointed with is, there's no story, there's nothing. It's just you're thrown right in and shooting people up in these levels. Every time you beat a level, it just cuts right out. At first you think the game's broke. It just literally cuts back out to like a black screen and it immediately loads the next level. I really wish they might have added a little bit more to the transitionings of the levels. It comes off as really kind of poor, I would have to say. But I do understand this is a small development team that made this game, and the game itself functions perfectly fine. I haven't had any issues with slowdown, no screen tearing, or anything like that, but considering how simplistic it is, I would have really hoped there wouldn't be anything like that happening on it, especially considering, like I said, it is a really, really cheap budget title. And it does show. You do get what you pay for in it. It is full of blasting, hence the name Blastful. I do wish a lot of your secondary weapons, you probably would have gotten more of them. I think the icons that drop for your upgrades, you don't get enough of them. But, that still is not a detriment to how the game plays. The game plays just fine. But like I said, if you're expecting something like some sort of bullet hell shooter, it's not until the later levels when there actually is a challenge in this. Early on, it was kind of boring. It was mundane and boring, and you just shooting the enemies, and then have a big generic ship that shows up that just, other than shooting missiles out at you, most of its normal attacks, they just keep firing forward, and you can just hang out beside them. And it's not until the later bosses that you fight that actually have more gun turrets on them and stuff, where you kind of even have to worry about them. In the end, it's okay for what it is. I've definitely played worse games, but I have most certainly played way, way better games. But for its overall price and honestly playability, it's not bad for a short amount of time. I mean, you can blast through this game in under like an hour or two. It's a rather short game with only 20 levels. Like I said, it's not a bad title, and for the price, it's not bad. But there are so many different other bullet hell style shooters out there that are more complex, that are more visually stunning, that play a lot better than this. So honestly, if it had a more expensive price, I would probably complain about this title. But since it is a real cheap game, honestly, to me, it feels almost like a mobile game, like it should have been on a cell phone. I mean, it just does. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. Like I said, it's not a steamer. It's not a piece of crap in any way. But I got to be honest and just say my honest opinion about this title. Like I said, it's not bad, and for what it is, it does do its job well. And you do get a good amount of trophies. So if you are someone who wants to get trophies, the trophies in this seem to be just thrown at you. It seems like if you just play the levels through, you automatically get the trophies. You'll get a platinum in this rather easily. So if you're looking for a cheap way to get a platinum, something that can take up a couple hours of your time, just turn on and play for a little bit of blasting stuff, you get your money's worth. But like I said, I have played way worse games than this, but I have definitely played way, way better games with this. But in the end, that's my review of Blastful. If it looks like a title that's right up your alley, I can actually recommend it. I'll just keep in mind, like I said, it's digital only, and it is a very, very short game. But then again, it doesn't cost that much. So in the end, I mean, you do get what you pay for. And I want to thank, honestly, PlayStage Interactive for sending me a copy of the game to review. Honestly, I have definitely played way worse. But in the end, I can only recommend it if you got a couple dollars that you're willing to throw away, and you realize that this game isn't that deep and it's not going to take you that long to play through and beat. Like I said, it just comes off as like a cell phone game to me. But that's just my own personal opinion. I'd like to hear what your opinion is. If you people have played Blastful or you're thinking of playing it, leave in the comments below what you think of this particular title. Honestly, I love to answer each and every one of your questions. And I always have to end my videos by saying, make sure to hit that like icon, hit the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.